All right, y'all. Welcome to the second episode of 6 Degrees of Black Culture. Today we're diving deep into 1998 and the pivotal moments that shaped hip hop history. 1998, a year of transformation. 1998, a year of transformation for rap music. It was the first full year without legends like Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G., leaving a void in hip hop. But while the East and West Coast were still reeling from the loss, Southern rap was gaining momentum with mainstream love, which it deserved. Hip hop was gaining recognition at award shows, new stars were rising, and familiar faces were finding their way into a changing landscape. So let's rewind the clock to one of the most important years in hip hop history. So when you first heard that, what's your first thoughts? Oh, by the way, we got the homie Dr. Clark in the building. So what up, though?
What's up, brohams?
All right, so what? So when you hear that and just think about 1998, talking about like that really was the first full year without Tupac or Biggie, two of the biggest hip hop stars in the world in the 90s, probably. What do you think about? What's your first thoughts?
DMX, I always heavily associate with 1998. I feel like that was his year. I'm not sure if the shiny suit era was still 98 or if that had like.
That's when it started going out for real, for real. That's because this is also one of the years where the underground hip hop, like Most Def, Talib Kweli, Black Star, like all of that started coming into the mainstream as well, where they wasn't necessarily dissing Diddy and Shiny Suit, but they was like, all right, all that commercial shit, blah blah blah. This is when Common started making a name for himself as well. All those different that era was finally started getting more, those rappers was finally started getting more recognition, because More Money More Problems was 1997, so that was the height of the shiny suit era, whatnot. Mace was about to be on his way out, going to find God.
When did Harlem World come out by Mace?
I think that was 97.
Let me see.
I'll look it up real quick. I got you. Yep, it was 97.
Okay.
It was October 97 though, so towards the end of the year.
Like, I know Feel So Good was on that, so that was still like, shiny suit. So yeah, I
Yeah, that's why I
associate,
say it was the start of declining from the shiny suit era. But go ahead.
yeah, cause I associate with like the rise of like or return of like gritty rap music in response to like the shiny suit being so prominent for the last year or so.
And I would say, yeah, the return, but the rise of it in the mainstream and where they was getting more commercial
Yeah,
success, though. So
right.
that's when they was finally getting it. So at this time, you had outside of Outkast in the South, there were artists like Do or Die, who was out of Chicago, who had more of like a Southern Texas, Houston type of sound. They signed to Rap a Lot Records. You had Lil Troy, Wanna Be a Baller. That was a big song, which he was out of Texas as well. Scarface's fifth album went platinum. Goody Mob had their second album. They was going getting more recognition. Juvenile's 400 Degrees, which is, I believe, the high selling Cash Money record still,
Hmm.
for that's not like Cash Money, Young Money, and all of
Right.
that too. But yeah, but that, especially to that date, it was the high selling album for Cash Money as well. And that was when they finally started getting their real success as well. Jermaine Dupri had probably the song of the summer with Money Ain't a Thing. And that all contributed to the rise of the South. But it was Outkast and their album Aquemini, which blended gospel, jazz, funk, hip hop, pop, all, spoken word. That's what was bringing Southern really to the forefront. Uh, what do you remember about this Outkast era?
Well, remember from personal experience, not much because I was three. Um,
Well, obviously not that personal, but what do you know about that? You know what I mean?
yeah, like you said, I just know that was a really experimental time in hip
Yep.
hop, especially with like the southern music. They were trying a lot of different sounds. I know Outkast had Raekwon on that album, which was like a big thing because New York and the South still didn't collaborate that much at this time. I know Jay-Z did, but like outside of them, I think not a lot of New Yorkers were really messing with the South like that.
And then as we was talking about Juvenile, because Jay-Z liked Juvenile's Ha so much, he
Yeah,
made his own remix, put a verse on it, and just sent it to Juvenile without even like, hey man, I'm doing this. He just threw himself on there, which is hilarious. So that's how
I
much
didn't
he loved
know
it.
that happened.
Huh?
I didn't know that's how it happened. That he just
Yeah.
recorded it himself.
Yeah, he just recorded it and was like, here y'all go. And of course, they was like, "Well, shit, Jay-Z's one of the biggest names in rap. Let's just go ahead and take advantage of this." So,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. But like you said, Raekwon was on there. They had George Clinton on the album, and then of course like CeeLo, Erykah Badu, Big Gip. So it was a variety of different types of artists, and you see them adding like a George Clinton and Raekwon is a very. It shows you the mix of who they are, and it was still mainly produced, not all the way, but mostly produced by Organized Noise still at the time. And this is where we first heard the art of storytelling as they kept it going for four songs, which is one of the best storytelling rap songs ever. And the art of storytelling 2, I think, has Slick Rick on it, I believe.
And I think, fact check me, I think Eminem has said that Return of the G is his favorite Outkast song because of Andre's verse on there. I
I'm
remember
look
that somewhere.
I'm look it up. Favorite Outcast song. Yep.
He said that?
Yep. He talks about that, and there's another song called Chunky Fire. I don't know that song.
That's on Equipment I too, I believe.
Ah, okay, well, there we go. He talks about that one as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so this was about, I think this was 4 years after them at the Source Awards saying the South got something to say. And it was finally, it was a slow burn, but technically 4 years really ain't a slow burn. That's actually pretty fast, low key. Because in music, things can go out of style very fast too.
Yeah.
And also going back to that time, it has me. I don't know if you ever really got to do this growing up, but going to the CD store to buy albums when they just came out, like that's low key now. I love the convenience of all this and streaming and all of that, but I do kind of miss going to the record store, putting those headphones on and listening to the song, get snippets of songs, which is actually kind of nasty throwing on those different headphones, to be honest, as well.
That was a weekend tradition for me and my dad. Every single weekend, we go around to the different music stores in Orlando. So like the stores that had like underground music mixtapes too, like stuff you couldn't find at like Best Buy and Target.
Yeah.
You go around to those stores and just look at what they had and buy up all like the old school and mixtapes.
What a different time. That was a
Yeah,
great era. That was also in rap where people were still dancing. Like there was actual dance songs there was rap songs that you could dance to
yeah.
and all of that. Even Jay-Z's like Can I Get a with Ja Rule in the middle, like you could do that and stuff. Like it was just a very different era because now to rap songs, it's the only rap songs you hearing are gonna be like trap most of the time if you go out. And you don't, it's a you they only make rap music where you can twerk to now. That's the only way they dance to it is twerking. Like I remember one of my young homies was out with us and they was playing New Jack Swing music. She did not know how to dance to that.
Mm.
She was struggling trying to dance to that. Plus, this is just when we was about 3 years removed from the New Jack Swing era as well. Also, this year, it came out. He Got Game with Ray Allen, Spike Lee's the album they did for He Got Game with Public Enemy was on there too. We was really seeing diversity in hip hop finally for real, because you had the West Coast doing anything. They
Hmm.
had been doing anything that obviously New York and the East Coast, the South was coming up, but you had the underground in all those different areas coming up as well, which was really dope. It was so much diversity. It was fun. I think it was more like a breath of fresh air finally because we had got out of that got out of the gang and violence era, and people was just ready to like just to have fun again. It wasn't about having to wear a bulletproof vest and it wasn't as violent anymore. Those was
Yeah,
some good years. That's when Jay-Z was really becoming a star. Jay-Z, DMX, and Lauryn Hill were all definitely becoming stars at this time. We'll get more into DMX a little bit later and stuff. Outkast was not yet the stars. I think they was about 2 years away from being stars because 2 years later is when they came out with Stankonia, which is still one of the top 10 highest selling hip hop albums of all time. Actually, has one of the highest selling albums of all time. It's one of the few rap albums to go diamond and sell more than 10 million copies as well, which that came out of nowhere. So that will lead me to what do we think uh some of the most important Outkast songs are? Because I said that, especially off of Stankonia, Bombs Over Baghdad, that's
yeah.
when they really like you started seeing them getting a more of a diverse group of fans. White people started discovering who they are, different types of radio stations. They wasn't just being played on the hip hop and rap stations and stuff. So I would say Bombs Over Baghdad is one of those.
I would agree with that. I would also say artist storytelling because I think that solidified them as like, I mean, they've been lyrical the whole time, but with the Clemini and like this whole experimental side of them, I think that solidified them as like true MCs, true lyricists. Storytelling was still more of like an East Coast thing. So the fact that they did it and they did like a whole series of storytelling songs, I think is really important.
I wish I would have added in just from that a segment where we talk about the best storytelling rap songs,
We,
or not best, but our favorite storytelling rap songs.
yeah, we can do a whole episode on storytelling raps.
Yeah, because I trying to figure. I don't think I did a TikTok video on that yet because I got that in my notes to do one because I
Mhm.
have a whole playlist of storytelling rap songs and stuff, and some songs you forget that was storytelling. But yeah, it's like the art of storytelling is what gave them more of a look from those East Coast and New York rappers.
Yeah,
That's when they realized, because they was always bougie about we're the lyricists, we can rap, we can out rap everybody and stuff. And you wasn't really, well, they wasn't thinking there was storytellers because Scarface has always been a storyteller.
yeah,
He was always, but it was Outkast that, and so I think for Outkast, I would agree. I would put the art of storytelling in that top five. I would say Bombs Over Baghdad for two different reasons, obviously. I also threw in a Spody OD Dopalicious
agreed.
because that was one their probably most unique song up to that point, and that just really like it's just the most different song ever. Spoken word on there as well. The beat is top tier. That to me, that is a top five favorite beat in hip hop ever for me.
And then, even though this isn't one of my personal favorite Outkast songs, I would say "Hey Ya" because like that album won them the Grammy, and that was
I
like,
got that on here.
yeah, the breakout, not the breakout, but like the most popular song from that album, most likely.
I put that with though, Hey Y'all and The Way You Move. I put those together. I put those together. They came out at the same time. They both were huge. Hey Y'all was very huge because it was really big on the pop
Yeah.
charts, and white people love that song so much. White
Mhm.
people love Hey Y'all. But The Way You Move was just as big in the black community. We love it. Was wild because both of them were so uniquely dope and like throwbacks. But Hey Y'all was a little more pop, but The Way You Move was more soulful and funky and funk and like more player, and
Yeah.
that really shows their personalities.
And Roses too. Andre performed Roses on Letterman around
I
that time.
can believe no. Well, was that the same? Oh, that was the same album. I'm tripping
That's three.
because the album was so hot for so long and those songs were played for so long. You forget. Like I think that came out in '04, and they
Yeah.
was touring and the songs was playing for like a year and a half to 2 years, which you don't see that anymore with albums and singles and stuff. Like songs come out now and they're hot probably 4 months at the most. Like I really feel like the the longevity for a song now, a hot song, like a hot song, is probably only like 4 or 5 months, like maybe a summer, to be honest.
Yeah, like a season with a few exceptions.
Like what's been like what they now the biggest songs of the year, I don't even know anymore. Like they was talking about it was a song with what's his name that was White Iverson, Post Malone, and they was talking about it was like the biggest song of the year, and I had never heard it.
This year?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't heard that song either.
I'll look it up. I will look it up because it was, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, so like they've gotten this Morgan Wallen and Post Malone song, somebody named Noah Kahan Stick Season. And but then they also got Shabuzi, a bar song, spent 13 weeks at number one. Obviously, I would for me, just for me, I would say Not Like Us by Kendrick, because
Oh,
that
yeah,
did a lot of things. That did a
yeah,
lot of things.
you're absolutely right. But like you said,
But
that song, it was hot for the summer. By the time we got to the fall, people weren't really playing it anymore.
that is true, because people they wore, and I think now it's also different because now you have the added with social media. So maybe back in the day, Like, imagine if TikTok was around when Hey Y'all came out, them white folk would have ruined Hey Y'all for us. Just the same way that I don't like seeing white people jam to Not Like Us. And I know that's probably selfish, it's silly. I can't help it. My immediate reaction to seeing people, white people that are not like us, jamming and rapping word for word, not like us, really just irks me. And it's dope because you want hip hop to be big. But
Yeah.
I do wish we was able to gatekeep certain things.
Listen, when I'm in like majority white clubs or bars and they play swag surfing, I'm just like, this isn't right. This is
Bruh, they just showed a water polo meet and all them white folk and old white people struggling to swag surf. Like I don't want to see swag. I don't want to hear swag surfing, not like us. I don't want either one of those songs in a mixed crowd.
right.
It really irks me. I just do not like it. And I shouldn't have a problem with it because you want hip hop to be this big. But it's the same. I don't want not like us, swag surfing or the term woke to be used in mixed crowds. Because white people have ruined swag surfing, not like us, and woke.
I wouldn't say they've ruined swag surfing yet, but they're on their way.
Okay, they haven't ruined it yet because we can still do it and have a good time.
Yeah.
So, okay, they haven't ruined it, but they definitely have ruined rap beefs, not like us, and the term woke. They are ruining, they are
They've definitely ruined rap beefs for sure.
they, because did you so I don't want to get off total subject because I was gonna that's no, well, if we got time later on, I'll bring that back up. All right. But I just think that the shelf life for songs aren't as long anymore because it's easier for the song to get on your nerves because of social media. And everybody will use the same song as a beat in the back of their TikTok video or Instagram video, their reels and all of that. And then or now, oh, bro, I went through my TikTok for you the other day, and it keeps cutting through the live. It's so many people DJing, just all, and it'd be like 52-year-old white woman, a 19-year-old Asian kid, a 17-year-old white teenage girl from Montana, an old black man playing Frankie Beverly and May. It's so much, but all these motherfuckers was playing Not Like Us like crazy. So I can understand it finally got on someone's nerves, but there was people back in July. All right, y'all, wrap this song up.
Yeah.
So,
I,
but
those were
so,
Drake.
but I ain't gonna lie. When people, cause now I'm at a stage where I'm like, bruh, I enjoy both. I listen to Drake and Kendrick. I will say there's an authenticity that comes to Drake. I mean to Kendrick. There's an authenticity with Kendrick and the way that California, Compton, and the West Coast all showed up for Kendrick. And he just seems authentic. And so, since we're on it, there was a video that Drake, there from a party Drake was at this weekend talking about he didn't know all these people was so fake. And now he realized when you get to the top, you alone, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this nigga been rapping about fake love for a long time.
Yeah.
So, but also it's like all you ever hear is artists talking about how these people in the industry are fake as hell. And you see why the J. Cole's and Kendrick keep their circle tight. Like Drake but I also thought that Drake, he has his boys that you hear. I thought he had his close circle as well. But you see why like the Jay-Z, he's kept the same like three dudes around him. Ty, when Emery got out of jail, like he's kept these same dudes with him. And I get it, people may be like, well, what about Dame? I'm like, just because you're in business with someone and you build a whatever together, that does not mean y'all are friends. Like him and like Emery and Ty came up together literally.
Mm.
Like they came up together. Like you can tell that Kendrick and like J Rock, all of them, they like family. Schoolboy Q, like they're all family and stuff. Like J. Cole and the Dreamvilles that came up together, them
Mhm.
like, but I don't know, like there's an authenticity I will say from me that for like a J. Cole and a Kendrick. Do I listen to Drake? Yes, but I think Drake epitomizes pop rap. He epitomizes that.
Yeah. I
And
mean, Drake strikes me as someone who just loves surrounding himself with people.
yeah.
Like, doesn't even have to know. Like, he definitely loves surrounding himself with like women that he barely knows. So like, it's probably like just a whole bunch of men and people in a circle too who are maybe yes men or
Hmm.
like people who just love him so much that he, needs people around to feel loved or appreciated.
Yeah, and that's why it's so dope to take it back to the Outcasts and all them to see that like the Red Man and Method Man can still go on tour together and they actually have genuine love for each other. No matter what, Andre 3000 and Big Boy still have real genuine love for each other. And like even when Rico Wade passed away from Organized Noise, they all showed up for that as well. Like they all have a love and authenticity. And I think it's something to it that shows like with the game, how there's a disconnect with him and a lot of those West Coast rappers and OGs that it don't seem like there's a lot of love. And it kind of speaks to who you are
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like it kind of speaks to who Drake is that when this happened, the Rick Ross's was done with, and we don't know what happened, obviously, but the fact that so many people from the industry were done with him,
Yeah.
that says something.
People that he made iconic projects with: Rick Ross, Future, Metro.
Like, yeah, you made all these iconic things. Shoot, back in the day with him and J. Cole, J. Cole, J. Cole don't try to mess with nobody. He just minds his business or whatever. As to see why he bowed out of that beef when
Mm-hmm.
they was like, "Hey, bro, just let you know this ain't about you. I'm just saying." And J. Cole was like, "Say less, bro. I wasn't even feeling it anyways. I wasn't feeling that shit anyway. It's just that Kendrick really is.
Yeah.
Kendrick really is the boogeyman. He really is hip hop's boogeyman, bro. I never thought it, but he truly is, though. So, anywho, I don't want to get too much back on that. So, the 5 important Outkast songs.
Oh yeah, that's what started this.
Correct. Because we was talking about the art of storytelling and it got all the way into all of
Yeah.
that.
So art of storytelling, we said B.O.B., you said Spodioti,
Mm-hmm.
and then you said
The way you move and Hey Ma together.
Hey
I
Ya.
said Hey Ma.
Yeah. I would say Players Ball then as their fifth most important song.
I was thinking that. I was also thinking about Elevators, Me and You
It's a
as
good
well in there. Like those are both up there as well. Those are important. Um, I'll be fine with either one. Players Ball, that was one of the first videos that Puff Daddy directed. And some people consider it a Christmas song. So do you know the story behind Players Ball?
yes, that's I consider it a Christmas song.
So because they wanted them to do the Christmas song because they was doing I think the LaFace Christmas album,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to do like a Christmas song, so they did that instead. But so most people will still consider it a Christmas song. I mean, in the video's not very Christmassy.
Well, but it's in Georgia, so I mean they can't be that Christmas.
They didn't have really Christmas decorations up.
Yeah. But I mean like the album, the lyrics are changed from the version that's actually on the LaFace.
Yeah,
But you can find the original on streaming, and it's way more like the lyrics are more Christmas oriented.
that is true. That'll be one when we get close to the holidays. These 6 degrees of
Yeah.
Christmas hip hop songs. They don't do they even still make like are these artists making Christmas albums anymore?
There's a mixtape from a few years ago. It's like a hood Christmas mixtape, but I think it's pretty good.
Of new songs though?
Well, they're original songs for that mixtape.
I mean from the era, not like old songs from the 90s and they brought them into today or something. Like they was recorded a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
years ago. Okay,
They're,
all right.
I mean,
Jeremiah, I think Jeremiah and Chance the Rapper had a dope Christmas album a couple years ago. Remember when Chance the Rapper was a, a guy that made rap music?
Hood Christmas Carols by Lil Kari.
Oh, never heard of that one. All right, so we're gonna go with though. Most important Outcast songs are The Art of Storytelling, Spodioti Dopalicious Angel, B.O.B., Hey Ma with The Way You Move, and then we'll maybe a tie between Players Ball and Elevators,
Sure.
or would you put Players Ball in front of Elevators?
Uh, you remember better than me. What kind of impact did Elevators have when it came out?
Elevators was bigger than Players Ball because Players Ball was earlier Outcast, so not a lot of people knew them as much. But that was one of the first times people saw them like, oh damn, they can like rap. But then Elevators was another song that was a storytelling type of rap song as well. And for that type of beat that was just so player and funk to be big on the radio was also very different.
Hmm.
So Players Ball wasn't much of a song that was going to get spin on the radio. So even if you may think it's a better song, Elevators was more impactful.
But I mean, I think Elevators is a better song too. I just didn't know like how much of an impact
Oh,
it had. So
no, Elevators was more impactful.
yeah, I'm cool with putting Elevators there.
Shout out to so where are you at with Outkast in your top rap groups of all time?
They're probably number one.
Over the years I've thought about it and I'm like, no, Outkast is my number one. Like, if it's just for my taste, I ain't even talking about the most impactful, and they are still one of the top two or three most impactful rap groups ever. But just for what I like and what I enjoy, Outkast is probably number one. I ain't gonna lie, 3 6 Mafia might be number two.
Number two. In most
That
important or just your favorite?
just my favorite, yeah, my favorite rap group. 3 6 Mafia might be number two as my favorite rap group of all time. Now I get it, most impactful, NWA, Run DMC, and Outkast. Those three probably got to be those three as the top. I don't care what order you put them in. Those probably be the three most impactful rap groups of all time
And we
because
gotta
you.
mention Two Live Crew for their
Oh
tape.
shoot, you have to yeah for
Yeah,
because um so a lot of people, which kind of technically they are the reason for the parental advisory sticker, but
yeah,
it's actually Al Gore's wife, Tippy Gore, about that because she heard the Two Live album and was so offended by it, and like she pushed Al Gore to fight for parental advisory stickers though. So
yeah.
it was Tippy Gore, his wife, that was a and Two Live Crew went through it so much. Like when I went and was doing the research, I remember like I knew it was a lot, but they was really like record record store owners were getting arrested for selling their
Yeah.
albums, bro.
Yeah.
Like
And I think they fought the state of Florida in like some kind of obscenity case and won, which is
yep.
why they were allowed to keep their lyrics.
Yep, because they was fighting the mayor of Miami first. It was the mayor that
Yeah.
they was going. They made a diss song toward the mayor of Miami. They made a diss song, bro. Like, so when young people they diss like the older rap, it's like, yo, without them, y'all wouldn't be able to have this ratchet shit y'all listen to.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no WAP without Two Live Crew.
man, there is no WAP without Two Live Crew. You got no parental advisory with Two Live Crew fighting for like censorship and all that. Run DMC was like the first big stars of rap. They had a freaking shoe deal. They had one of the first big rap hits with Aerosmith. It wasn't just rap, but it was a good crossover hit. It was one of the
Mhm.
first of its time, first ever. You had, like we said, 3 6 Mafia, who was used because of how they have inspired hip hop today. So many songs samples 3 6 Mafia. The way people rap it's basically how what 3 6 Mafia started. They really like I won't say copy them, but I don't even know if a lot of them know that they are rapping like 3 6 Mafia. They may not know. So they have the rap style of 3 6 Mafia. They sample like crazy 3 6 Mafia all over the place. And then we said Outkast, who really they're the reason that the Southern hip hop started getting true real respect and came to the limelight first. So
Yeah.
shout out to Outkast, bro. All right, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back and we're gonna do a little trivia. All right. Really hot and doing a whole lot and stuff.
Did you
Cause
know
if you
Khaled is in the video for Lean Back?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I knew that. DJ,
I like
because it was back in like 01, 02s when like Fat Joe and a lot of them was like really connected with Miami. Like all the Latinos from New York and from Florida, they
yeah,
all was connecting. So I knew a lot about and then Akon and Lil Wayne was doing a lot of music with all of them in Miami and South Florida too. So
yeah,
that's how I knew a lot of those artists as well. And that's why like going back to the Locks and Diplomats versus and Jada Kiss made a line. He was like, "We not all out there in Miami. We right here in New York."
yeah.
And I started laughing at that because yeah, all of those New York rappers at that time, like the Jim Jones got a song called Miami, Summer in Miami. He's got a song called that. So I remember that whole era in the early 2000s when they was all going down to Miami,
Hmm.
which I understand. which I understand they would spend the winters in Miami and summers in New York.
Yes.
Um, in 1998, all three former members of Fugees released their debut solo albums. Can you name at least one single from each one of those artists during that time?
I don't think I can for Praz. For
Damn.
Lauren Hill, of course, doo wop, that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wyclef 911. Is that year? That's not that year?
No. No, sir. And that's with Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, that was okay. So that was a different
That's
year.
off his second album in 2000.
Oh dang. Okay. So what came out before that? Doesn't
So I'm gonna give you, I don't know if this is a good enough hint, but his debut album, uh Wyclef presents the Carnival. Um the song, one of those songs, he samples from an old 70s movie that, and the song was written by the Bee Gees. Um I'm trying to figure out how to.
does it sample Staying Alive?
Yes.
Okay, from Saturday Night Fever.
There you go. Look at you, your old egg.
Uh
It's called We Trying to Stay Alive.
oh, okay.
And he also had Gone Till November. So that was it. Prize, he had a song with Maya called Ghetto Superstar
I know that song.
and
Okay.
Oh Dirty Bastard.
I do know. I didn't know that was Praz's song though.
Yep. Prize featuring ODB and Maya. And so they all went ahead and released solo albums.
Okay, I could have gotten that one. I just didn't know it was a Praz song.
The Fugees also, that debut album was one of the biggest hip hop albums of all time.
Oh yeah.
That was huge as hell. I think it also helps when like you have like the Haiti Connect too and all those people that support you as well.
Yeah.
And here in hip hop too. So shout out to that. But yeah, Prize, Ghetto Superstar with Maya and ODB. Ghettos. Nah, I can't pay for that, so I ain't about to. So all right. What song found LaFace Records and Outkast in hot water when they were sued for name misappropriation?
Rosa Parks.
There you go.
Yeah.
Um, that also could be another song you could add into an important Outkast song because it was so different. It had low key a little country vibe to it as well,
Yeah.
not totally country, but it was one of their earlier big songs once again as well. And if that was out in the TikTok days, they'll be making so many videos of that shit.
Which I've also heard it wasn't Rosa Parks herself who wanted to sue them. It was more so her estate and like her lawyers.
Yeah, she was part of the estate though. She was
Oh,
part of it. Yeah, she was part of it. I was doing my research into it. No, she was in there.
okay.
Because she was like, they're misappropriating my name, that they're talking about, oh, you don't like our music and get with us. We'll sit in the back of the bus and making it seem like I wanted to just sit in the back of the bus. And that's something that she actually said.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Snoop Dogg's high selling album came from his, true or false? Snoop Dogg's high selling album came from his stint at No Limit.
I want to say false, but I just feel like, well, hold on, never mind. You know what? I'm gonna say true.
Why?
Didn't RNG come out when he was on No Limit?
Actually, I don't think he was still signed to No Limit when. So no, Rhythm and Gangster was after he left No Limit. That was in 2002 when he first linked up with Pharrell. He has three albums that, so all right, his first two albums was with Death Row, Doggy Style, his debut, which
Mm-hmm.
is one of the biggest debuts of all time, and The Dogfather. Then he had three albums on No Limit. The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told. No Limit Top Dog, and The Last Meal. And then his next two albums was Paid the Cost to Be the Boss and RNG Rhythm and Gangster. So, did his highest selling album come out on No Limit or not?
Then I'm gonna say no.
Why?
Cause I just feel like the three albums you just named from No Limit, I don't think any of them are like near his most popular. or highest selling?
You ready?
Yeah.
So, no, Doggy Style is his highest selling album ever.
Okay.
But The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told is a close second for his
Oh,
second highest selling album of all time. The Game Is to Be Told, Not to Be Sold is his first album with No Limit Records. It's his third album ever, and he sold over 500,000 copies in his first week once again. Third consecutive number one album. He stayed number one in the second week, and it spent 5 consecutive weeks in the top 10. And it went platinum within a couple months. And it is his second highest selling album ever,
wow.
with songs like Wolf featuring Fiend and Mystical and Still a G Thing. It was very no limit because it has 21 songs on there, because that's how No Limit Records did. When they put a lot of songs on there, a lot of No Limit artists on there. And this is his first album ever not to have Dr. Dre, Nate Dogg, or Warren G. So when we get back, we're going to talk about Snoop Dogg in 1998 and how it affected Southern rap music. All right, we back. Just a little part. We was talking about Two Live Crew. Go ahead, Dr. Clark.
So Two Live Crew has a song called "Fuck Martinez," where in the song they say "fuck Martinez" multiple times and "fuck Navarro," and those are referring to, I think, like the governor of Florida and then the mayor of Miramar or some politician in Broward County.
Yeah.
They found two guys with the same names as those politicians, Martinez and Navarro, to sign something saying that they were the guys Two Live Crew was talking about in the song, just so they could say it and not face legal repercussions.
Oh yeah, I did read about
Yeah.
that. Hey, that their lawyers were brilliant, because their lawyers is the one that gave them that idea. Because
Yeah.
that is hilarious. Shout out to Two Live Crew, bro. One of the top 4 most impactful rap groups of all time. That I got to do a 6 degrees about that starts something with Florida bounce music.
Ooh.
And yeah, I got to do something with Florida bounce music, Florida rappers, Florida culture, something like that.
Oh, so it was Florida Governor Bob Martinez and Broward County Sheriff Nick Navarro. So they found two guys with those names to say that the song was about them.
Yo, that's real. That is hilarious. All right. So we got a little trivia. We're gonna talk some history of hip hop, specifically 1998. May lead to some other stuff though. But all right. So 1998's Smoking Grooves tour featured the Fugees, Cypress Hill, Ziggy Marley, A Tribe Called Quest, Busta Rhymes. It was one of the first amphitheater tours to feature all rap acts. This led to legendary tours like the Hard Knock Life tour and the Up in Smoke tour, selling out in places like Utah, Minnesota, and Ohio, which they never did at that time. And there was no violence during the tour. This changed the narrative for rap tours moving forward. Can you guess what the highest grossing hip hop tour ever, or who has the highest grossing hip hop tour ever as of October 2024?
Dang. There's been a lot. Is it the Watch the Throne tour?
No, but I will give you 2 more guesses. I
Okay.
will tell you this though, Watch the Throne is in the top 10.
Okay. Highest grossing hip hop tour. It's not Watch the Throne.
Nope. And if you can't guess the exact tour, you can just give the rapper.
Right. I'm gonna guess Jay-Z just to eliminate all of his tours.
Actually, no.
No. Okay. Kanye would be my only other guess as like in the top. Well, yeah, as the number one.
He is in the top 10 twice, but no.
Dang. It's
I was
not.
shocked.
It's not Jay-Z. It's not Kanye.
I thought it was gonna be easy, fam.
Is it 50 Cent?
No, but 50 Cent is in the top 10. Which 50 Cent do you think is in the top 10?
Which tour?
Yeah.
Get Rich or
Like based off of which Get Rich or Die Trying. No. It's
Die.
the most recent tour, the Final Lap tour.
Wow.
His anniversary tour, bruh.
That's got to be just because of higher ticket prices.
I don't know, but think of it's still even with higher ticket prices, it's higher than a lot of other rappers who have been had big tours over the last 10 years as well, though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but when all even just the videos I saw of that, it was packed out, and it's another thing that shows you how the hip hop artists we grew up listening to, they take their craft serious
Yeah.
and they do not play around and they start on time.
What this is a side note, but like when the whole versus concerts were going on, the one that impressed me the most was the Method Man and Redman because they were legit just doing an entire concert together on
Bro.
Instagram. To see the
Hey,
choreography, Redman did like a freestyle that showed really good breath control because he was like rapping really fast without stopping. I'm like, dang, these guys still got it. Like,
and take it serious too. It's
yeah.
dope. And because you can tell they have a love for I say that was up there for me. I also love the DMX and Snoop Dogg verses because they were just sitting there showing love to each other and they was giving stories behind stuff. And
Hmm.
it was just like two dudes sitting around. They've known each other for a long time, telling old stories, talking about the songs, then playing those fire songs or whatnot, and just showing major love. And that was what verses was supposed to be about,
Yeah.
was like showing love. Then everybody was like, man, this nigga would tear him up in a verse. Like, that's not what verses is about, bruh.
I will say though, another one of my favorites was Gucci and Jeezy.
Well, obviously,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, they knew what they was doing with that one.
right. Well, Gucci,
But it didn't get out of control though.
no, Gucci knew what he was doing. I think Jeezy was expecting it to be more calm.
Yeah, more professional. We
Yeah,
adults. Jeezy over there talking about when Gucci's talking about beef and stuff.
yeah.
Jeezy's over there talking about, yeah, but I own land. I'm in a corporate.
I saw a tweet, and after this, I'll guess, I'll make another guess on the question. But around that time, I saw a tweet where it's like Jeezy telling like a really deep backstory between every song. Gucci,
Yep.
my next song is called "Fuck You, Jeezy."
Yeah. I think, and then real quick, I think one of my least favorite ones was Bone Thugs and 3 6. They just kept fighting and arguing the whole time. It wasn't even good or entertaining at all.
Yeah.
That wasn't. They should have been embarrassed, in my opinion. They should have been embarrassed by that. All right, one more guess.
All right, so I'll just guess Eminem since he's like the biggest pop star in rap.
No, Drake.
What tour?
It's all a Blur tour.
When was that?
I think it might be his one of his most recents. Hold on, let me make sure.
I don't know how I didn't think Drake.
Right, that's what I'm tripping talking about. Yeah, that's his most recent tour.
So what year was it though? Like, was it
So
for?
4th of July 2023 to
Okay,
April of this year.
okay, so before all the Kendrick stuff was
Yeah,
going down.
before that. It was
All right.
because he had like Sexy Red, Lil Yachty, Lil Durk, um, Central C, whoever Sleepy Hollow is. It was along, and 21 Savage was on most of it as well.
Yeah, Sleepy Hollow is a drill rapper from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that was so Drake also, I think, has about 3 tours on the top 10
Dang.
of all time. Yeah. The
Okay.
that one, the Drake and the Three Migos, Aubrey and the Three Migos, that's up there. And Drake and Future, Summer 16.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why Drake just didn't come to mind at all.
That's why I was tripping. I'm like, this dude ain't said Drake yet. I was tripping. I'm like, you know
I,
damn well.
I don't know. I was thinking.
So like it's so I wanted to talk about like the tours and stuff. So the Smoking Grooves tour, like I mentioned, they had all those artists. That was back in '98, but that set the foundation, the stage for the next two biggest tours for the longest was the Up in Smoke tour, Dr. Dre's tour. That was when what Dr. Dre had really just came back into the limelight after he had been gone for a while.
Yeah, because that was before, well, right before the Chronic 2001, or maybe around the same time when they were
That
playing.
was it was for that was for that album. That was based off that the album had just came out, and then they was touring that
Right,
album. So
right.
they was touring the Chronic 2001, the Marshall Mathers LP, and No Limit Top Dog. When Snoop went to
I know why. Just why? Like,
well, because everybody was excited for Snoop and Dr. Dre to be back together. But don't forget, Snoop was all over the Chronic 2001 too.
yeah, I know, I know.
And then you had Exhibit, Warren G, Nate Dogg, MC Ren was there, like Corrupt was on there. Like that was a The DLC popped up as well. That was a huge tour
Yeah,
for a long time.
I have a DVD of the Up in Smoke tour, so I've seen it.
See, I never saw that. I never saw the DVD for
Yeah,
it. But that was, man, that was for a long time. That was one of those tours, bro. But like that original tour from the Smoking Grooves set the foundation for that and set the foundation for the Hard Knock Life tour, which listen, man, Jay-Z, DMX, Method Man, Redman, Benny Siegel, Ja Rule, Memphis Bleak, DJ Clue, Emil, Eve, Swiss Beats, Chuck D, Busta Rhymes, Puffy, Ed Lover. Like all these people was popping up. And then they did the film about it as well. Bruh,
see, if I could go back and like witness any moment from rap, it would probably be a show from that tour.
the Hard Knock Life tour.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you had like DMX, Method Man, Redman, Jar, like, and it was like kind of early enough as well for them. It was early for like a Ja Rule and Eve and stuff, but it
yeah,
was kind of in the middle right there for like Jay-Z. I don't know. Now that was early enough for DMX because that was early enough because that was in the first 5 years of Jay-Z and DMX and the first 6, 7 years of Method Man and Redman. So it was early enough for all of them.
yeah.
It'll be like for Method Man and Redman, it'll be like when LeBron went to Miami. That was at their stage of their career. It was like the prime of their career too. Which Method Man and Redman, they don't really get the love that they deserve when it comes to hip hop. And I
Nah,
think it's because though, like when we're talking about rappers don't have fun no more, goofy fun rappers, it ain't many of them no more. Like that, maybe that's what I got to do a 6 degrees of fun goofy rappers. So
agree.
shout out to those hip hop tours. Nicki Minaj is on there as well.
Or
Travis
Pink.
Scott's on there.
Mm,
Kendrick Lamar's on there twice for Damn and then the Big Steppers.
okay.
Yeah, so yeah, Nicki Minaj is Pink Friday. And Watch the Throne, of course, is on there too. So
Is Hard Knock Life in the top 10?
not anymore. It was on there up until like I remember it was on there up until like 2016 or 2015 or something.
Yeah, because like if they're judging biggest
Just
or
highest grossing.
yeah, if it's like based on just revenue, that's got to be because of insane ticket prices now.
Probably. Yeah, most likely. Because when I was looking at the dates for the Hard Knock Live tour, bruh, they had like a total of like 4 days off in that entire tour.
Yeah.
All right. Which rapper had the highest selling rap album of 1998? Do you want do you want multiple choice?
No, I feel like I can get this.
Okay. So who had the highest selling rap album of 1998?
Was it Jay-Z?
No, sir.
Damn.
But he was in the top five.
Didn't Hard Knock Life go diamonds? Was that one of his diamond albums?
No, that I don't think Jay-Z ever went diamond. It's just that all his albums have went platinum.
I thought he had at least one diamond album.
Mm-mm.
Dang.
I'll make sure and Google it just to be sure.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure as much as I do all these yeah, he doesn't.
That's
It's
crazy.
it's just that so he may not have any diamond albums, but he's been consistent where they all go platinum and sell multiple millions though. His highest selling album, because what album did you just say?
Hard Knock Life.
Which volume?
Oh, well, wait,
You
what?
got to be saying two, right? There was
Yeah, two.
volume one and two. Okay.
Yeah.
Volume two is his highest selling album of all time, though. It's 6 million.
6 million?
Mm-hmm.
So 10 million is diamond?
10 million is diamond.
Dang, it's crazy that he has never had a diamond album.
Mm-mm.
All right.
And there's some people that have two.
Yeah, no, like In Sync, I think has one. Britney.
I'm talking about rap albums, bro.
I
We obviously with them.
I know they do, and the fact that Jay-Z doesn't is crazy. Uh, then it's Dark and Hell is Hot.
So what?
It's Dark and Hell is Hot as the highest.
Correct. Of
Yeah.
1998, yes, correct. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. And that was his, I think that was his first album of that year.
Right.
So DMX. So this was a breakout year for DMX. and the Rough Riders. 1998 started his streak of 5 straight #1 albums.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, like I said, and he was the second artist ever to have 2 #1 albums in the same year. Can you guess who the first artist was?
I know we've,
We have talked about this before.
and it's like cheating, right? Because one is the greatest hits album. So is
Yeah,
it Tupac?
yeah, Tupac. He also became a star that year, which carried him to what everybody knows as the legendary performance at Woodstock 1999. Everybody knows that video where they got, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That Woodstock 99 video. Oh my gosh. DMX, youngest would never know. DMX was that man from like 97, 98 to about 04. He was really like doing his thing. I want to see what was his last like top tier album, because then he was kept going to jail. He was going through some shit.
Yeah,
03, 03, 03, he did Grand Champ.
I,
And
I like that album, but I don't think that's one of his biggest.
no, but it was still went #1.
Okay.
So it still sold over 300,000 copies in its first week. And it still went platinum.
And don't forget he was in Belly in '98 also, which
Oh yeah, he was. He sure
I
was.
always I assumed DMX was in Belly like after he became a superstar, but that came out in '98, so around the
Yeah. 97 is when they signed him on to do it then.
right. So like based off what was he just hot in New York at that time?
Well, because yeah, he had been hot in New York since 95, 96 though.
Mm,
But also, real quick, off of Grand Champ, they had Where the Hood At and Get It on the Floor. Those was 2 really big songs,
right.
which I did not know that. Oh, Kanye West produced Dogs Out on this album. Didn't know that, but he was producing for everybody at that time as well. But yeah,
Now my
DM,
favorite song off of that album is "We're Back" with Eve and Jadakiss.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. So yeah, DMX was hot as hell because in that time frame of 98 till 04, also when he had 5 #1 albums, he also was in Belly, Romeo Must Die. He was on the Hard Knock Life tour, which ended up being in the Backstage movie. He was in Exit Wounds and Cradle to the Grave and Never Die Alone.
Also,
So
just throwing this out there, DMX. Sorry, I have to make it about Orlando. He used to vacation in Orlando all the time. I have a friend who served him at Denny's in Orlando. Another friend told a story about how he saw DMX at a strip club back home, and he has that famous video of him on like the slingshot ride.
yeah, yeah.
That was in Orlando too. So shout out to DMX.
That's hilarious. You are annoying. And fun fact, at the 1999 Billboard Music Awards, DMX won Best R&B Album of the Year.
Wait, best R&B album of the year.
Because they will just throw the rap under R&B. And there's a video of him accepting the award I saw like a couple months back.
That was what year?
1999 Billboard Awards.
For what album though?
It was, hold on, let me see. 1999 was, and then there was X,
Wow. Okay.
which was What's My Name,
Yeah.
and yeah. And I think Party Up in Here, that might be his biggest song to date, I think.
I'm pretty sure it
Yeah,
is.
because white people love that song too.
That was in Like Mike.
I don't know why that just really annoyed me that you said you are you are no, it was in video games and movies all over the place. That was so 1998 was a big year for Rough Riders, period. You also had that's when Swizz Beatz, because of his success with DMX, he blew up even more as well. You had actually, was that Eve's first? Was that, I think that was because her first album came in 99 off of all the stuff she was doing with Rough Riders. She had music with she had You Got Me with The Roots and Erykah Badu. She was on Missy Elliott's Hot Boys as well. They came out in 99. Like, so Rough Riders, that was the era of like the record label / posses.
So I've said this before on this podcast, probably years ago, that I think of
No. You did not say that on this podcast, buddy. This is episode 2.
That might have been Chicken and Liquor. That I consider like the Rough Riders, the Orlando Magic of the rap game, because like they
No,
came,
I don't think you've ever. I don't remember that. I want to hear this.
yeah, because like they, technically the Magic started in '89, but whatever. They came up in the '90s. They were the hot young team with all the really hot players on it at the time. Hardaway, Shaq, and then they just kind of fell off and never been the same since. But they had a great run in the '90s.
They had a good run for a couple years with Dwight.
Yeah,
They did. They did. They got to the
they did.
finals.
They did. Right, they did.
I'm trying to think if I would because I think it's the best comparison right now I can think of because
But we went to
Rockefeller had a longer run than them and had higher. I don't know if
yeah,
they had higher. They had actually. I wouldn't say Rockefeller had higher success because Rough Riders had some real success. It's just that Jay-Z
right.
is like LeBron, so that's real. Like, but we just mentioned how great DMX was for what for 5 to 6, 7 years as well. I think that might be. I might like that. Rough Riders are like the Orlando Magic.
So then, if we're saying Jay-Z is like LeBron, would Rockefeller be like Cleveland and Rock Nation would be the Heat?
Oh, okay, yeah, probably, probably because Rock Nation got had Rihanna also, so
I mean, Rockefeller was great too.
yeah, but when you really talking about like
Yeah,
bro, there was no Rihanna's on Rockefeller.
right.
And Rockefeller had success. Like Benny Siegel went platinum there.
Yeah.
I think the Young Guns even went platinum once as well. Like Rockefeller had some success, but Rock Nation had way more success though. I mean,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
J. Cole and Rihanna was there, along with Jay-Z still releasing albums under there too. So, and then Wale even signed there later. Tribe Called Quest and the Locks released their later albums with Rock Nation. So, all right. Question 3. September 29th, 1998 became a monumental day in hip hop. Do you know why?
You said
That's
September
September 29th, 19. This isn't the actual question. I just want to see if you know why. September 29th, 1998 was a monumental day in hip hop.
September 29th, 1998.
And
No.
it was monumental because several all-time greats dropped an album on the same day.
Hmm.
Which artist did not drop an album on September 29th, 1998? DMX, Jay-Z, Outkast, or Tribe Called Quest?
Well,
DMX, Jay-Z, Outkast, or Tribe Called Quest?
well, I know the first three all have albums that year. I just don't know if they dropped them on that day.
All of them, all four of them do have an album in 1998.
Oh, even Tribe Called Quest.
Yep. Because that's where their song Find a Way came from, if you know that song.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say DMX because I feel like his albums came out at like the beginning and the end of the year.
Now, that was my thinking for making the question. You are correct. It
Yeah.
was yes, it was yeah, it was DMX. But imagine that's a crazy day. Like Jay-Z, Outkast, Tribe Called Quest, all dropped albums on. I'm actually there was even more albums, and I'm about to look it up. September 29th, 1998, rap albums. 1998 was a imagine being 25 and Black Star also dropped the album, Most Definitely Talib Kweli.
Hmm.
And No Limit dropped a compilation album.
Okay.
So shout out to that. Damn, that was a what would that be like? All right, you heard the names. What would that be like today of who all dropped the album on the same day? So Jay-Z, Outkast, Tribe Called Quest, just right there. And remember, by this time, Tribe Called Quest was low key already kind of considered legends. Jay-Z though and Outkast were Jay-Z was already considered, oh, he's next in line. He's about to be the next biggest star. And then Outkast, they was like, oh shit, okay, we fuck with Outkast. They might about to be good. Who would that be like today? Dropping all on the same day.
Mm,
That's kind of hard, ain't it?
it's
So
hard because there aren't like iconic artists like that no more. Really, I
for
mean,
you, because you're older now. But for someone who's 20, there might be
okay, yeah. Uh, so maybe Travis Scott. Um, Mm, mm,
I would say J. Cole because Tribe Called Quest is somebody that had been around for years. They had been
okay.
around since like 90. So they had been out for like eight or 9 years. So someone maybe even it's like a Future dropping on the same day as a Travis Scott as
Sure.
well.
Yeah, so I guess Travis, Future, J. Cole. Who's another young person that's like really hot right now?
I don't even know who's hot, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Boss Man D'Lo, I
All
guess.
right, okay. Well, we're moving on because I don't know. I know that name. I know that name, and I've met some people that like him. So I'm
He's
not
from
even gonna
Tallahassee.
hate him. He's from where?
He's from Tallahassee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You know what? Just off the strength of that, I'm gonna check him out. All right. In 1998, this rapper released the first solo Latin hip hop record to go platinum.
You said 98, the first song.
This is all 1998.
Okay.
So this is the first time a solo Latin rapper went platinum.
Oh, Capital Punishment.
I said the rapper, not the album name.
Big Pun, Capital.
So I was reading, I'm like, bro, it's so tragic because I remember how much people loved him and how dope he was, and how he was also goofy and had fun too in his raps, though. And it said that when he was, I think, 18, or yeah, when he was 18, he was like 200 pounds. By the time he was 21, he was 360 pounds. And his weight problem became such an issue. His friends would like talk to him about like his food, eating, and all that. So he stopped eating around his friends. And he was supposed to perform at SNL with J Lo and Fat Joe.
Wow.
He was supposed to perform at SNL with J Lo and Fat Joe. And he got sick and had to go to the hospital that night. And he died, I think, the next day or like 2 days later or something.
Wow, that's really
And
sad.
and it sucks because once again, selfishly on our side, like his family, they're not worried about this part. But like he was probably gonna be like a very talented, dope rapper moving forward. He was only like 27 when he
He already
passed.
was. Yeah, he was
Well,
already.
but he had only had one album come out
Yeah.
when he died, though. He had that one album. So
Yeah.
like I mean, that album was dope. I went back and was listening to it this week, and I was like, oh shit,
Yeah, he was an amazing rapper.
you can keep playing that shit. But I also didn't realize it was Fat Joe that was coming up before him, though.
Mm-hmm.
And he was getting on Fat Joe songs and stuff. Also, shout out to Fat Joe. Shout out to Fat Joe. He's been around for a long time too.
Yeah, when did FloJo come out?
I can look that up really quick.
I know that was early 90s.
Fat Joe, Don Cartagena, Joseph Antonio Cartagena. How old you think Fat Joe is, by the way?
Probably like I don't know, 52.
God dang, this dude was right on the mark.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
You was right on the mark. That's wow. What did you ask when what came out?
His song FloJo.
I'm so annoyed. He was right on point. Bro, looking at these old pictures of him is crazy as hell. It came out in 93.
90. Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, he has
So
been
Fat
around.
Joe started rapping around the same time Nas did.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If you listen to his interviews and stuff, he has different stories with all these rappers from back in the day. We just
Yeah.
don't realize that they really did come up at the same time because for us that wasn't like right there in New York or whatever, right there, he came up to us later.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't really for us. I don't think it wasn't until Big Pun passed away where Fat Joe that the rest of us really, really knew who he was and knew the music.
Yeah.
Because it was 2001, his fourth album is where we really started knowing who he was.
So like when I was growing up and
Because
like
that was, hold on, We Thuggin' with R. Kelly and What's Love with Ashanti and Ja Rule. That's when we really started knowing who Fat Joe was.
yeah, when I was growing up, like because I grew up like early 2000s. So like the first songs I remember hearing Fat Joe on was like Make It Rain, the stuff he was doing around that.
That was when I was that was like 06,
Yeah.
05.
And then it wasn't until like I was listening to the old school rap station that used to be on Sirius back in the day called Backspin. And that song FloJo by Fat Joe came up. And I asked my dad, like, this isn't the same Fat Joe that just dropped. Rain. He was like, yeah, it is.
Dang, and think about it too. That was literally 13 years later.
Yeah.
That's 13 years later, which is crazy. And so you just got to keep grinding because yeah, it literally wasn't until 02, I mean 01 with that song Club We Thuggin' with R. Kelly and the songs he started doing with Ja Rule and Ashanti and all of them is when like nationally we really started knowing who he was. But he had been around, he had already been around for 10 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is wild as hell. All
So,
right.
Lean Back.
Pop
I kind of remember Lean Back from when I was like really young.
Lean Back was '04.
Yeah,
So that was after that. Yeah, that was '04. That's when he really blew up though. That '04, so '02 to like '07 was when Fat Joe was like, all right, we back. So Snoop Dogg left Death Row after Death Row was falling apart. Dr. Dre left. Tupac had passed away. The East Coast West Coast thing was crazy. Hip hop was reeling. Like we already said at the beginning, 1998 was the first year without Tupac or Notorious B.I.G. So the story is Snoop Dogg happened to be in the studio recording. It was a studio with several. It was a building with several studios, and there are multiple people recording. Snoop Dogg was recording a song with, I believe, Silk the Shocker or C Murder. I'm sorry, it's one of those. One of them. He was recording. Master P happened to walk through. They saw him. They was just having a conversation. They was like, no, Snoop Dogg was recording with somebody else. Master P was like, man, you should get on this song. Then he was like, man, what's going on with your deal? How's everything going? And Snoop Dogg, they was talking about life, talking about stressing, all that type of stuff. And then Master P was like, man, you should come on over here to No Limit. Snoop was like, bro, Suge ain't letting me out. It's going to cost this much money, that much money. Master P asked him, how much you think it's going to cost? Snoop Dogg gave him a number. Master P said, give me a couple days. So Master P left. He called him back in a couple days. He somehow made a deal with Suge Knight, got him out the deal. Snoop Dogg was shocked, like, what the fuck are you talking about? He said, come on over to No Limit. Signed him to No Limit. He went to New Orleans, went to Louisiana. He said that Master P basically owned No Limit, and Master P owned like a whole just like area, neighborhood of houses. And they drove around. And Master P was like, what you think about that house? You like that? Pick one. He was like, what? Pick one. He said, pick one. And he said, well, I like that house. He said, cool. Went in there and bought the house, moved Snoop Dogg and his family in there. And he said, make sure you stay out of trouble. When the other No Limit artists want you to get into this, get in that, stay away from that shit. And he said Master P got him together. Master P like saved his career and is one of the most like loyal, authentic dudes he had ever met in the music industry. He said coming from Death Row to No Limit, he didn't realize how professional it should be. Like he thought all those rap labels were like Death Row, women, weed, violence, crazy stuff going on, and it was professional. He said Master P was running a business. So yeah, Snoop went to No Limit, released 3 albums, revived his career. Maybe without No Limit, he may not be what he is today. He talked about how I forget he got with Mac 10, I think, and Dub C or whatever, and they was talking about releasing a diss record towards all these niggas in the at the West Coast. And they was like, he said if he would have did that and Master P didn't talk him out of it, that could have killed so many people and maybe even him. And he's glad that Master P talked him out of it and was a level-headed human being. So this also during the same year, the Outcast stuff going on, Goody Mob, Scarface, Lil Troy want to be a baller, all of that. Snoop Dogg going to No Limit was a big thing for Southern rap music just as much as it was big for Snoop Dogg. It was mutual for both of them because that brought some West Coast fans that was maybe never listening to Master P and No Limit, that brought them over to start listening to them and brought another fan base over. What can you say about this time? What do you know about this era of Snoop Dogg, of No Limit, or whatnot? Also, those 3 albums, this is when Snoop Dogg started having a lot of songs on his albums.
yeah.
Before this, he did not have that many songs on his albums. So hold on, just a real quick, my bad. I know I'm talking a lot. His first album actually shit had 19 songs. Oh shit. With a couple intros. The first album had 19 songs with a couple intros. His next album, his next album had once again had some intros, blah blah blah, some outros with 21 songs. All right, you know what? Actually, it wasn't that different. I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't that different. No Limit was known to have a lot of songs, but Snoop Dogg actually already had 20 and 21 songs on the first one. and then had 21, 22, and 21 on his next three albums. So never mind. So that was a perfect match.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead. Go ahead.
So the only thing I knew about Snoop in this era, so I actually used to have a physical copy of The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told, and I never really liked it. It was kind of trash to me. So I was just like, dang, this was a bad move for him going to No Limit because he's just not making good music on this label.
It
That's
was also one of his lowest rated albums by fans, but people was just also excited to hear from him again. So I'll just throw that
right.
out there.
Yeah, so that was the only thing I knew about his time on No Limit. I mean, later I learned that like what was it, Last Meal, that was also on No Limit, and that has some good songs.
Oh, I
That
like The Last Meal.
yeah, Lay Low and Wrong Idea. What's My Name Part Two. But yeah, at the time, I just knew like he wasn't releasing very good music on No Limit. In
Yeah.
my
So well, that's a lot of people's opinions. I will say
yeah.
that. But I wanted just to clear it up from earlier. He was recording a song with Mystical. And that's how the relationship with started with him, Silk, Master P, and all of them. So that's how it began. But a lot of people felt that way, especially about the first album and the second album, which was No Limit Top Dog, which it was just a different sound for him. It was a very but that second one has an all-time classic, Them For My Niggas, C
Yeah.
Murder. So it did give us that. Snoop Dogg was we hadn't heard Snoop Dogg on Southern rap before. So this was one of those early times. This is why 1998, once again, is so special. You got Snoop Dogg, who's hella West Coast, but he's done interviews and he was like, I think why they appreciated me, accepted me so much also, he said, just like most of us Black Americans, we're all from the South. He said, but I'm really from like my family is from the South, and I was always spending time in the South growing up. So I know all about the South and being there and just in soaking up the energy and vibes there, anyways. Because that's how him and Brandy and Ray J are related because they're
Yeah.
cousins. So from through Mississippi as well. So um that was a big thing for hip hop because it revived Snoop Dogg's career, brought it more energy again. I mean, he did have some dope songs with No Limit when he was there. Now, like you said, maybe the albums wasn't top tier, but he
Right.
had some singles and songs that was fire and did his thing or whatever. Like you hear a lot of stories that Master P was just did good business with people
Right.
that you could really trust them like that, and that's really dope. He also is really big on trying to do stuff just for the Black community, like Black hip hop, Black entrepreneurs, and all that and stuff. Um, so No Limit released 24 albums that year.
Wow.
They released 24 albums that year. Some of the big songs was How You Do That by Young Bleed. You remember that song?
I know that's
Silk the Shockers, It Ain't My Fault. I don't know if you remember Sons of Funk, good old R&B. So yes, they Sons of Funk, Pushing Inside You, Master P's The Last Dime came out. Make It Say was a big song that year. Mia X came out, went platinum. I Got the Hookup movie, what you know about that?
yeah, I've seen
That
that.
can, and then of course Snoop Dogg's debut, The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told. All those albums went platinum, big songs. 24 albums released on that record label just
Crazy.
in 1 year. Like they was working. They also shout out to them because they had those unique album covers that are classic as hell.
Yeah.
They would like people didn't have them album covers.
Which like current rappers are starting to pay homage to those kinds of covers, like 20.
Didn't Drake do that a couple years ago too with the Honestly Nevermind or something? I think he had a
I don't think that pays homage to those album covers.
no, I'm pretty no, that was hella
I
that
think
was hell. Oh no, that's hella. That's definitely a No Limit type of album cover.
I didn't think of that when I saw it.
No, that's the first thing I thought of.
But Savage Mode 2 by 21 Savage, that was the first inside scene of like a current artist doing an homage to that kind of album cover.
Oh, that's very much. I
Yeah.
just looked it up. That's very much. But
Yeah.
honestly, never mind. Like that looks very to me. That looks very No Limit when I first looked it up. All right, now we're gonna end this with we're gonna draft some of our top songs from 1998. You youngins ain't gonna know half these songs probably. But Dr. Clark, you can go first. Pick your first song from 1998.
So my first is "Thieves in the Night" by Black Star.
Okay, we went very underground and rap.
Yep,
Why do you like that song?
that is one of my favorite songs ever.
How often do you go back and listen to it?
There was a time where I listened to it way more often. Now, maybe like once a month.
Okay, that's still a nice amount of time to be honest to go back and listen to an old song though.
Yeah, but I don't know. I first heard the song, I think, when I was in high school. Cause like, I was just talking about like the how me and my dad would go around to look at like CDs and stuff every weekend. That was one of the albums we bought on one of those trips, was their first album.
So
And
you also got memories attached to it.
right. And so I just remember like being put onto it in high school and thinking like, wow, like the stuff they're talking about in this song and just how it sounds, and it's just awesome. And then I later learned that the novel The Bluest Eye, like they sample words from that novel into the song. And so I actually went and read The Bluest Eye to see like how they took inspiration from that book, and that's a really good book too. So
That's interesting.
yeah, so it's one of my favorite songs.
Shout out to that. Shout out to the memories.
Yes.
I'm gonna say "Wanna Be a Baller" by Lil Troy. I remember just being a kid. I was 10 years old. And I remember going to vacation Bible school and us playing that in the car with my auntie in her powder blue, all tinted windows Cadillac. Just
Yeah.
jamming that with the subwoofers going out during the summer. We was listening to that all summer. I want to know what part of the year that even came out because I just remember listening to that all summer, and that was just a hit. And it was one of those songs out of Texas that like made it bigger as well. So that was really dope. See, it don't even say um what part of 98 it actually came out. So also this also was on NBA 2K19 a couple years ago. So shout out to that. Um Also the song featured what's his name was on it? Um Hold on. It says Lil Troy wrote but did not perform in the song. Yes, he did. What? All right, I'm not sure about that. But it's one of my favorite songs from 1998. It's a Southern classic in my opinion. So Lil Troy "Wanna Be a Baller." You know that song though, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And what's your number two?
My number two is "Above the Clouds" by Gangstar.
He's going very New York and underground so far, guys. No versatility. Yeah.
It's still a lot of draft left.
You
Still,
right. We still got draft left. All right. I'm going with Spodiote Dopalicious by Outkast. That's adding some versatility to my playlist, to my starting lineup. Just vibing out. It's a nice long song to be honest. It
mhm.
has three long voice verses, two spoken word, one is singing. The beat is top tier. So Spody Odie, Dopalicious, Outkast. What's your third?
My third is 400 Degrees, Juvenile.
The song or the album?
The
Okay.
song off the album.
That's the song you picked off the album?
Yeah,
You still kind of low key going underground.
the song 400 Degrees. That's not underground.
No, it's not, but it's not like one of the most popular songs from the album, in my opinion. Well, maybe not for me. Not for me. So never mind. Because I mean, you had Ha and Back That Ass Up.
I think 400 Degrees is the best song on the album.
I'm gonna go back and listen to it tomorrow because it's been a long time. So maybe this revision is history because we all we hear is Back That Thing Up now from the album. So I'm gonna have to go back
Oh,
and listen to it.
400 Degrees is easily the best song on that album.
I do remember I low key wasn't there a video for it too, right?
400 Degrees. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
wasn't there a video?
I'm not sure.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm tripping, but I do remember. I remember the song though.
Yeah.
Oh no. They Juvenile and Manny Fresh made a video this year for it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, they went back and made a video this year for that song, which I really appreciate, which is dope. And Juvenile and Manny Fresh been doing their thing these last 2 years. Like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Juvenile may have a top tier Tiny Desk performance ever. Which
yeah.
also Young Jeezy could have had a top tier Tiny Desk performance if they didn't invite a bunch of Gen Z college students to be the audience because they didn't know none of the goddamn songs. So that pissed me off. Anywho,
I saw that one.
bro, that was all right. So it's my number three, right?
Yeah,
How's it going down by DMX?
that's a good one. That's a good
That
one.
is that is the beat is so simple and fire, and it's like a perfect summer song. It
Hmm.
is to me, it's a top five rap summer song. Maybe even that. Maybe I got to do a 6 degrees of the best rap songs for each season. That's some real research right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm saying how's it going down by DMX as my number three.
Okay.
Hold on,
Mine.
I just want you to see. I want you to see. So far, I got New York, Texas, and Atlanta. You got New York, New York, and New Orleans. All right.
Mhm.
Okay.
So now I'm going West Coast,
Okay.
and I'm choosing "What You See Is What You Get" by Exhibit.
I was just listening to that album today too. And I
Yep.
forgot that that album's actually pretty dope. And I forgot that Exhibit could really rap and he actually was dope. But people only remember Pimp My Ride.
No, it was an amazing rapper.
He was. He was dope as hell. But people only remember he was the what's the Eminem remix that he's on?
Bitch, please.
Bitch Please, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't think the remix so the remix is on streaming, but they don't allow you to put it on a playlist, which is annoying.
Why?
Because you know, there's a lot of songs that is on streaming, but when you put it on the playlist, it doesn't show up.
Hmm.
It does that all the time, which is annoying as hell. But people don't know Exhibit. He did his thing back in the day. There's a reason why he was at the Up and Smoke tour because he was doing his thing. All right. So far, the reason why I said 400 Degrees Underground because you're picking a bunch of songs that a lot of people, casuals, aren't
Yeah.
gonna know the songs. They're not gonna know them. But I don't know. Let's see how many people know my next pick. Wait a minute, is it my turn? Yeah, it's my turn.
It's your turn.
Scarface, Sex Faces. What you know about that right there?
I know that song.
Do you remember who's featured on it?
Um, isn't it Master P?
Is it?
Maybe I'm wrong.
You are
Who's on it?
Too Short and Devin the Dude.
Ah, okay.
Wait, shout out to Devin the Dude. He doesn't get a lot of love, but he been doing his thing for fucking 25 years. And he has made some of the best smoke weed, get high playlist music of all time. So yeah, Sex Faces. There's also a newer version that Ludacris made of Sex Faces too back in the day as well. So Sex Faces.
Okay.
What
So
you got?
it's my last pick.
I mean, if you have another two or three, I'll allow it.
Yeah, we're gonna extend this a little bit.
I will allow it.
So my fifth pick is also a Scarface song,
Okay.
"Homies and Thugs,"
Oh, I fuck with that song though.
which has Master P on. I know that one for sure has Master.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
They've been fucking with each other for a long time.
yeah.
They've been fucking with each other for quite some time. Um, okay. I'm picking what you know about Lord Tariq and Peter Gunn's Deja Vu, Uptown Anthem.
I've heard that. Yeah.
That was another summertime joint. It was a classic. We was listening to it all fucking summer. So I'm going with that. If you can see, I'm low-key kind of having you kind of see the energy where it's going. You got a lot more underground rap route, and then I got some more that's like vibey, a little party, have a good time, a little bit. I didn't even realize it, but it's really representing our personalities very much.
It is.
It's really all right. What else you got?
So I guess honorable mention or another pick, I would have
Yeah,
said
honorable. No, we'll say your sixth man off the bench.
six man. All right, I'm gonna say I'll Be That by Redman.
Oh shit, that
Yeah.
is a good one.
Yeah.
That is a really good one. Oh, I'm with that. That was on one of the I used to have the Source compilation volume albums. The Source, bro, and that was on one of those, and that's literally how I learned it. Then I gotta look it up.
That's all
Source.
Doc's the name.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, man, that was yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. Ooh, I do have two more.
Okay.
All right, so Tupac, Do for Love.
Okay, that's a good one.
What You Want, Do for Love. That was which he sampled from Bobby Caldwell, who everybody always thinks is white.
Yeah.
So Tupac, Do for Love, which was also on that Source 1998. I had like the Source albums from like 95 to 99. They don't make compilation albums no more.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got?
All right, let me be really careful. If this is my last pick, right? Um, I think I got it. Hold on, let me look at this album, see what's on here, just to make
Oh
sure.
no, I think I may have two more actually. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, so if it's gonna keep, I'll say, dang, what was I about to say? Oh, Body in the Trunk by Nori and Nas.
That's wild. That's wild. That's this guy definitely got a. All
Yeah.
right. Well, kind of off of that, I'll go with the Locks and DMX, Money, Power, Respect.
Okay, good one.
What you need in life. I think that was when the Locks had just got off of Bad Boy also and went to Rough Riders.
Hmm.
I think that was their first album on Rough Riders, and that was really them. And shout out to the Locks because they have aged well. All of them are doing their thing. And fucking what's his name? Sheik Luch, Jadakiss, and Styles P. Styles P has a freaking juice bar, and they all healthy doing their thing. Which it's even crazier. Jadakiss has hair down and a hairline. So did that nigga choose to be bald all those
Yeah,
years?
he did.
That's wild as hell. He chose to be bald and now has hair and a hairline. I'm a little pissed. A little pissed off.
Yeah.
So money, power, respect, the Locks. Then I got one more after that. So we got what, two people off the bench, I think.
Wait, say that again?
I said that I got one more after this one that we just picked. So I said, isn't that what, two people off the bench we choosing? Do you remember all the
Oh,
ones you just chose?
yeah, I said Black Star, Thieves in the Night, Gang Star, Above the Clouds, Juvenile, 400 Degrees, Scarface, Homies and Thugs,
So
uh,
rap, rapidy rap.
Exhibit, What You See Is What You Get,
He loves boom bap rap.
Red Man, I'll Be That, and then Body in the Trunk by Nas and Nori.
I fuck with the red man. I'll be that the most though.
Yeah,
All right, one more.
sure. Uh,
I'll be that. I'll be that. That was
which
a good.
which vibe do I want to go with for my last one?
He's
Okay,
been, guys, I just want you to know he's been very New York outside of, he got, I think, one Southern and one West Coast.
I have two Southern. I have Scarface and Juvenile.
Oh, you're right. Two Southern, one West Coast, and everybody else been New York. Okay.
All right, so I'll go Midwest to keep it versatile, and I'll go with Still Po Pimpin' by Do or Die.
Hmm. Shout out. Not just pole pimping, still pole pimping.
Oh
Isn't
yeah,
that's the one with Twister, right? Or
well
no?
this was on both of them.
Oh, okay.
But
But the still pole pimping is the one that was bigger though.
I always thought the original was bigger.
No, I think the remix, the second one was the bigger one. I'm
Oh
pretty sure. PIMP ology. Well, yeah, that was. I mean, he said it in both actually, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was the second one though.
Oh, okay.
Bro, actually, I think most of the albums back then all had a lot of songs, and I'm thinking about it. Because I've been looking up all these albums from 1998. They all had a minimum of 17, 16 songs. But now albums just come out with 8 songs.
This is because I don't have nothing from Jay-Z or DMX, so
That is crazy. Me neither. I don't have anything from Jay-Z either. And I don't even have Jay-Z for my last pick, low key. But now I kind of want to change it. Now I'm nervous because I feel like Jay-Z is my favorite rapper. I should have something from Jay-Z.
well, if I were to, so you go ahead and make your last pick.
Now that you just mentioned that. So I was gonna say Big Pun, Still Not a Player, the
Okay.
remix with Joe. But now I kind of want to say I I'm thinking about Fat Joe, but now I'm thinking about Money Cash Hoes by Jay-Z and DMX or a Nigga What Nigga Who. Cause that was that was when him and Timbaland really started their relationship and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga What Nigga Who and Can I Get a I think I'm gonna go with Jay-Z. I'm gonna go with Nigga What Nigga Who.
Okay.
Jay-Z, Nigga What Nigga Who. That wraps up my top songs of 1998.
So if I were to switch one,
For what?
I would replace What You See Is What You Get with
With all right, we don't need all this quiet
okay,
time on the
sorry.
podcast.
Okay. I'm gonna say Slippin' by DMX.
Oh shit, that's perfect. No, that's perfect. No,
Yeah.
that's perfect. That's perfect.
I was going back and forth between Slippin' and The Omen, but I gotta go Slippin'.
No, you got to go with Slipping. That is, I listen to that song on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
I definitely listen to that song on a
It
monthly
annoys me
basis,
that they don't have the uncensored version on streaming anywhere. It's only
bruh.
yeah.
So on Apple, so they have the uncensored version on Apple now.
Really?
I'm pretty sure unless I'm tripping, but so for the longest, they had some other version where the beat was different and weird. Oh no, they don't. I'm tripping. I'm tripping.
Yeah. On title, it's still just a clean version. Oh wait, this says re-recorded. Let me see.
But the beat is different.
Right.
So, so yeah, you either listen to it censored or you listen to the version where the strings is a little different and weird.
Yeah.
So I usually just go to YouTube and play the video.
You know what other song annoys me because like the good version isn't on streaming anywhere. I have to go to YouTube. Is "Let's Get Away" by Ti.
For real?
Because remember, the album version sounds different from what's on streaming right now. The beat is slightly different. The hook is different.
I
Like
haven't listened to it.
the one on streaming sounds it's not bad, but it's not as good as like the real version. And I don't know why
Mm.
the real version isn't on streaming anywhere.
I haven't listened. Well, a lot of it because when I be reading into that, a lot of it is like the record label doesn't have a deal with this anymore. This person left this like it goes into so many different things.
But with this, like the sample is the same and the hook is almost the same. They just change how they sing it. I don't get it.
It may be a person that was singing background and
Oh,
then maybe sue the artist or a record label or something, and they just like, well, we just take them off of it. So it
maybe.
can be various many things. All right, so um, all right, we're gonna end this right here, and we're gonna wrap up 1998. To wrap up 1998, 1998 was the year that the South started receiving mainstream love. You had Snoop Dogg going to No Limit. Snoop Dogg revived his career going to No Limit, but it was also a mutual beneficial where he also brought over fans that maybe he had never listened to No Limit, Master P, or Southern music. You also had Outkast finally getting the respect that they deserve with Aquemini, which was a fire album. Songs like Spody, Odie, Dopalicious really did them great. Rosa Parks was big as hell that year as well. You had Lauryn Hill being successful at the Grammys, winning awards. You had Jay-Z turning into that star that they already thought he was in New York, but people outside of New York really started showing him even more love. You had DMX becoming the breakout star, leading him to have that legendary video, like we said, at Woodstock 99, making movies, dropping 2 albums that went #1, and started for him to have 5 #1 albums in a row. You had albums from what? Redman, you had albums from Juvenile, Goody Mob, Tribe Called Quest. You had albums from a diverse group of artists from all over the place. Now, the top dogs on the West Coast wasn't doing what they had been doing years before. Snoop Dogg was, but little did we know, Dr. Dre was right around the corner with Chronic 2000 that dropped at the end of '99. Ice Cube did drop an album this year as well. You had Timbaland and Missy and all of them coming up doing their things. Rough Riders was brewing and was blowing up in '98 with Swiss Beats, Eve, and DMX as well. So 98 was a great year, was a transformational year in hip hop. It was after all the violence of the last 2 years in hip hop. First year with no Biggie or Biggie or Tupac, but it felt like it was hip hop going through um, the trauma and figuring itself out and now building on to something great. Common was coming up, Black Star, underground rap music was finally getting some mainstream love. It was really dope. You had concert tours that led to all the top tours that we have today. They finally saw that, oh, we can have a tour with no violence. We can have a tour with all rap acts going to cities like St. Paul, Minnesota. We can go to Indiana, we can go to Utah, and we can make a lot of money with just rappers. People today don't know that that was a struggle back then, but all those artists have made pop rap a thing, have changed generations of families and created wealth. So shout out to 1998, one of the most important years in hip hop ever. What do you have to say about '98, Dr. Clark?
Just echo everything you said. It was a really transformational time. It was like the bridge between the 90s and, the 2000s that came after. We appreciate it for, the South finally being put on the map in a national spotlight kind of way. And yeah, a lot of the most fun and most experimental music in rap came from that year.
It was a creative time period. Shout out to that. Off the top of your head, can you think of any other years in hip hop that have been big or monumental or important?
95 is usually lauded as like one of the greatest years in rap music.
Okay, 95.
90.
You think anything from the last 15 years?
Oh, definitely. 2016, 2012, 2018.
I'm gonna have to, I gotta look up all those years. We're gonna do some research together because,
16
all
and
right.
12, sure. 18 might be a little bit more controversial, but I think 18 is in there also.
12/13 was the era where Drake really started becoming a superstar.
Oh, yeah, a lot of great music came out in 2012. 2013 too, but I think 12 had slightly more like really iconic music that like defined the 2010s. 2016 is still remembered as like one of the most fun years in recent memory for rap, especially for like trap music and club and party music. And you had I don't know if this album came out in 2016, but the like Mannequin Challenge with Black Beatles, I think that song came out in 2016, but the challenge was done at that time too. So that was just a really fun time, like for the country in general, but also for rap music.
Hmm. All right. Well, we'll have to look at that next time. Yes, Black Beatles was September 2016, by the way.
So, so yeah, 16 was just a really fun year for rap.
So all right, we'll look into those years later. Shout out to 1998 though. Without '98, without the creativity of those artists, without them keep working and pushing, without the respect that they garnered and earned, we may not be where we are with hip hop today. We talked about the tours. They may not be making that much money today. So shout out to '98. Shout out to the Dr. Clark. Appreciate you. And next time we'll do 2016
I'm down.
and we'll see what that's talking about. All right, it's been not another hour. It's been 6 degrees of Black culture. Peace.
Bye.